Something a little bit different today, something that may or may not work. It's really all up to you guys, but then it's always up to you guys. You know, just the way it is. I don't really have a hell of a lot to do with it myself. If you guys want to play along, you play along. If you don't, you don't. But I want to do something today that, for my purposes, I will call control groups. I would like to put 5 different groups of people on the air in the first hour, and then in the last 2 hours talk about what we discovered from those 5 different groups of people. There's a news story that has caught my attention, and I want to focus in on it in a highly selected way. So I will be looking for between 3 to 5 people for what I'm going to call control groups. And I won't, I'm not going to make any bones about this. I'm not trying to make anybody look bad. I just want to ask some pointed questions from the control group members. The 5 groups: people who would refer to themselves as pro-life, obviously anti-abortion. People who would refer to themselves as pro-capital punishment would be group number 2, pro-capital punishment. Group number 3 will be, this is a tough one. I don't know who the hell is going to respond to this, although it's necessary. Strict constitutionalists, people who really believe in the Constitution and following it to the letter. Group number 4, bleeding hearts, liberals, okay? Group number 5, fifth final group, God-fearing conservatives. Not just being a conservative, but you must be a God-fearing conservative. So let me start out with group number 1, pro-lifers. I need between 3 to 5 people. Not trying to hassle you. Stick with me on this one, okay? Trust me if you will. Trust me if you will on this one. It will become apparent as we go along as to what the method to my madness is. And by the way, I will allow you, if you take part in the control groups, isn't that really neat? I will allow you. If you take part in the control groups, I will allow you to call back later on in the program to discuss either what was heard in the control group portion of the program or the overall picture as it becomes apparent, okay? 3 to 5 people. I've got 1 on hold, another one coming in, so I need at least 1 more person who would consider him or herself to be, quote-unquote, pro-life, anti-abortion, pro-life. And it is not an abortion show, by the way, so don't get excited about that. Got 2 people. I need at least 1 more. Have I given out the phone numbers? Probably not. Pinellas, 461-9352, 461-WFLA. By the way, after we get going with the control groups, it's too late to get in. Okay? 1 has already dropped off already. Astonishing. But like I said, after we get going with them, it'll be too late to get in. 990-9352 in Hillsborough, 461-9352 in Pinellas. It looks like we might have enough. Do we have that? Nah, we still have people playing games with us. Okay, and I can understand some people just can't deal with anything outside of, well, we won't even get involved in that. So what the hell, I'll just wait. Hang on. I feel like doing an adult show today, you know. I'm a patient man. Okay, we've got 3. Michael, cut it off at that point. The other people have waited too long for us to beg and plead. North Tampa. Hi, North. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. I've got, basically 3 to 4 questions for you. Relatively short. Most of them actually could even be answered in yes and no.
Okay.
But is human life sacred?
Yes.
Absolutely, positively, you're sure about that?
Positively, absolutely sure.
Is human life to be valued at all costs?
At all costs? I don't know if I'd go quite that far.
Well, now, wait a second. I thought you just told me that human life was sacred. Sacred's a very strong word. Are we using the same definition for sacred here?
Life is extremely sacred. However, there are other things that are sacred, and sometimes to protect life, sometimes life is given up, and I'm not saying that happens all the time, but that may come up, and so... Well,
I'm just talking about, life period, not getting involved in things like defending my family, going off to defend my country, the war, that type of thing, just life in general.
I wasn't even getting into that at all, just that life is precious and should be defended at all costs, except if it costs life to save life. So, yeah, I would say at most costs, if I can say that.
Is it life itself that's important, or the quality of life?
Life.
Life itself is what's important, not the quality. Will you stand by with me for a second, please? I'm going to put somebody else here on the line. St. Petersburg. Saint, are you there? St. Petersburg dropped off. Well, hey, North Tampa, I really appreciate this, but all those other people that were on hold are such jerks, such immature little idiots. They're all gone. So, thanks a lot, North Tampa. As a matter of fact, everybody has dropped off. All right, the hell with you, SOBs. It's open phones, okay? Forget it. Just open phones. You got the phone numbers. We'll just wait for the next call to come in on any topic that you guys want to deal with. Don't call me up ever again and say, geez, Lassiter, you don't do the serious topics like you used to. And, it's just a lot of nonsense. Open phones from now to 6 o'clock. And if you think I'm kidding, forget it. What in the hell is it with you people anymore, Unbelievable. Oh, now the phone's full. Too bad. I'm not kidding. It's just too damn bad. I sat here for 13 minutes and begged and pleaded with you people and tried to tell you what the hell was coming down. Tough. Tampa, you're on there at 970 WFLA.
Hello, Bob.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Fine. What you got on your mind today?
Well, I'm down from Chicago.
Great.
And I'd like to know if I'd like to see the Chicago White Sox come down here.
Fantastic.
And
yeah.
play.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
I was wondering, do you know if the state legislature has done anything this year toward getting the Sox their place down here in the
what state legislature, sir?
Well, the Florida.
Well, there's nothing the Florida state legislature can do. So the Chicago White Sox are owned by some private people, and they can keep the team wherever the hell they want to keep it.
Well, didn't they have some litigation problems last year to keep them from,
Not that I'm aware of, sir.
coming down here? Because I really think the Sox would be better off in St. Petersburg. And
yeah, because you live there.
Well, no, actually, I'm in Tampa, but I do would go to the games if they were down here. I've seen the Sox up there at Comiskey Park quite a bit, and
you're boring me to hell. Riverview, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Hello there, Bob.
Hi.
Yeah, I got a couple comments for you. Just want your reaction.
Uh-huh.
One of them is in nature there is no bad, there is no good, there are only consequences. Second thing is, Mr. Shakespeare said in, I think it was King Lear, but anyway, they ought to take all the lawyers out and hang them. A friend of mine said to me the other day, and I never really thought about it that way, but he said, hey, all lawyers are officers of the court. Now, if a lawyer goes to the legislature and becomes a state legislator and enacts laws which are to be enforced by the court, isn't that conflicts of interest? What do you think?
I don't know, sir.
Okay. Well, bye.
Seems to me a lawyer's only an officer of the court when he's practicing before the bar.
Well, yeah,
before
but
the court.
Yeah, but anything he does any time really is, he can be hailed into for punishment or for reprimand or for whatever, if he violates the canons of the law or whatever.
That's not the courts, though. That's the Bar Association.
Yeah, right, but...
that's not the court.
Yeah, but he's treated as... He's
Bar
regarded as
Association is a professional association, sir.
Yeah.
It's not the court.
But, another thing. The young man there a little while ago says that it wasn't quality of life that was precious, it was life. I tend to disagree with him. Now, I'm an old
Oh,
duffer.
that's too bad, sir, because that's what we were talking about then, and you didn't call. Tough luck. West Shore, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Bob?
Yeah.
Gino.
Hey, Gene.
How you doing? Listen, Bob...
you want to know how I'm doing, Gene? I'm going to tell you how I'm doing. I'm really pissed with you guys.
Well, listen, I got in late.
I sat there for like 5 hours today putting together something reasonably simple. What do I get? I get 7 or 8 jerks, one after another on the line with Michael going, fart, and so forth and so on.
I missed the opening.
And, I'm just absolutely thoroughly disgusted with you people when it comes to doing something of any quality whatsoever. Man, it's over. It's going to be nothing but the bull crap that gets me nice numbers and big dollars.
Well, I agree with you, man. You spent some
Great.
time
Where
and
were
effort.
Where were you 10 minutes ago, Jim?
Well, wait. I just tuned in. I had a client. He just left, and I had to... so what was the... can you quickly tell me?
No way.
Okay, all right. Well, then let me bring up something that touches me. 10 years...
Now, hey, let's talk about... I got 3 girls at my house who are 16 years old. Where should they go for spring break? Or how about, should evangelists have to count for their money? By the way, they do.
Yeah. Well, we're becoming a fickle society, my dear friend.
Fickle society. It's a moronic audience anymore.
Well,
that's what it is.
I want to bring up something, and I don't know if anybody wants to talk on it or not, but 10 years ago to this date, there was a little thing called 3 Mile Island that happened, and I'd like to bring up the subject, the other victims of 3 Mile Island. I was one, and am one, I guess. I was sitting in the governor's office when this happened at the state of Alabama. We were ready to announce a major nuclear power fabrication plant up there in the state of Alabama, and we got an emergency call from a PIO type down in Pennsylvania, and stating, well, a little accident happened out at a place called 3 Mile Island, and it wasn't a Westinghouse plant where I was working. It was a B&W. And the message was, a little bitty accident happened. We don't think there's much to it, but keep going with your plans, for this big announcement. So we get out of the meeting. I go back to Pittsburgh, and 2 days later, we're strategizing on how to handle this major calamity. And, of course, the rest is history. Nuclear power is almost a footnote in history, and it affected Tampa because we had a major facility down here, Bob. I don't know if you remember that.
What's the bottom line, Gene?
Pardon? The bottom line is it's a major anniversary, 10 years, and there are a lot of other victims of 3 Mile Island, including many thousands in the Tampa area who lost their jobs when the plant was closed. We had a major fabricating facility down on right below Gandy, and that was closed, as well as several nuclear engineers were put out of work. The nuclear power discipline, engineering, was virtually eliminated from many colleges, and here we are 10 years later. We have accidents happening, an oil slick problem up there, and we're becoming, again, more reliant on oil. Now, I wasn't a great proponent of nuclear power, carte blanche, but I do believe we can harness the little bugger and make it work. And frankly, I thought it might be interesting to bring up. I mean, it affects all of our lives. It's certainly going to affect the quality of our lives down the road when we don't have enough electricity to...
Gene, I can't get people to talk about gut-wrenching things. You think I can get them to talk? I mean, Gene, do you understand that I haven't had a lead-in since October the 17th? Do you understand that, Gene? Do you understand that no matter how nice the people are, no matter how hard they try, there is just virtually nothing in the way of some type of cohesive follow-along programming here?
People don't...
Do you understand that, Gene?
Pardon?
And you think I can get people to talk about nuclear energy?
Well, not just nuclear, but, our way of life. And what are we going to have down the road when we don't have enough energy? It's not just nuclear. It's the major accident happening up in that port up in Alaska right now. Apparently a drunken sailor let the command go to a third-rate officer, and here we are now with.
Do you know anybody in favor of that, Gene?
Well, nobody's in favor of it, but then again, why are we pumping all this oil? Because we don't have a balanced energy policy. We're rapidly in this country. Well, it goes to what you're saying. People don't give a damn. They don't give a damn about heavy topics you bring up or interesting topics. They don't care about, I imagine, I don't know how many are voting for the mayor.
The world's like a hell in a handbasket. And you think I can get people to talk about we don't have a balanced energy program? Are you serious?
I guess I'm a little, I guess I've been sitting in the sun too long, Bob. I'm sorry.
Love you, Gene.
I might be baked. My brain is baked and fried and fizzled.
I think mine is, too.
Okay, kid.
Be good. 990-9352 in Hillsborough, 461-9352 in Pinellas. Is what is going to happen for the remainder of this week, and if I have my way, maybe the remainder of my career, which I trust will be at least 30, 40, 50 years. I am about to blow a fuse. Somewhere in the last couple of months, the caller base at this radio station has shrunk to a pathetically small group of people. We just had our best damned arbitrends ever. The audience here is humongous in terms of raw listeners, and it's one of the great problems of talk radio. It's a major problem of talk radio. Believe me, you get to think that the people who call are the audience. And when I speak in terms of moronic audience, I'm speaking in terms of the callers. I'm going to do something for at least the remainder of this week. I have had it, absolutely had it, with hearing the same pathetic, tired old voices over and over and over again. People who have nothing in between their ears, but who want to get on the air and hear themselves, or who want to get on the air and boost their favorite host or knock their most unfavorite host. I mean, if I hear one more time, oh, Bob, you're so great. Oh, Lionel, you're so great. Oh, that Lassiter, he's such a jerk. Oh, that Lionel, he's such a jerk. I'm going to puke. Absolutely puke. I recall last week
tuning in and hearing somebody saying, well, that Lassiter, he won't let us use our names anymore. I mean, who the hell does he think he is? What kind of an arrogant man is he that he won't let us use our names? I mean, this is our radio station. No, it ain't your radio station, bozo. Nobody listens to hear you and your stupid name, which unfortunately your host didn't realize. He will one day. But I don't want anybody for the remainder of this week who has ever called this radio station to call in. I mean, if we cannot expand the base of callers, then what the hell, let's forget it. Play gospel, polka, or whatever it might be. And as for all of you people who come up and press my little hand when we're out on the street or in the supermarket and say, oh, I listen to you all the time, Bob, of course I could never call. To hell with you if you can't call. To hell with you. I'm sick and tired of Jack in Gulfport. I'm sick and tired of Joe in Odessa. I'm sick and tired of Jerry in Palmacia. There's got to be somebody in this life besides those three bozos. And frankly, I'm sick and tired of half the women, too, that call. So with that out of the way, let me give you the telephone numbers. You may call about anything. You may call about what I just said. But if you've ever called this radio station before, don't call now. I don't want to hear from you. I sat in that room this afternoon with Michael Serio as he was screening calls for Bill Ratliff. And I swear to you, at least half, and it may have been more of the people who called, are not just chronic callers, but they had already called today. And yesterday. It's the same people over and over and over and over again. Aren't you sick of it? Well, apparently not. There's not a damn call on the Phenorkner. I guess I'm just crazy. I don't want to talk to Lassiter. Oh, he might holler at me. Yeah, you're damn right he might holler at you. Maybe I was right that first time when I spoke in terms of a moronic audience. A big moronic audience? A well-to-do moronic audience, perchance, but I can't take it anymore. I can't take hearing these same people who only want to get their damned names on the air. Or their silly little voices, the ones who kind of half listen in the background to the radio, even though they know that it's on delay. So, I'll give you the telephone numbers. You may comment on what I said. You may comment on anything you'd like. Just as long as you've never called this radio station before. 990-9352 would be the number in Hillsboro. 461-9352 would be the number in Pinellas. And, of course, there is the practical joke line at 1-223-9797. Dunedin, Dunn, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Hello.
Hi.
First-time caller.
I hope so. God help anybody's voice that I recognize.
No.
Over and let the air out of their tires.
I'm in the plumbing business, and I ride around all afternoon listening to you on the radio, and I don't have time to stop and call. So I got stuck in the shop today, so I thought I'd call you and beat your brains a little bit.
Okay, how you going to do that?
I'm not. I'm just saying that. I didn't hear the whole story about your $104 breakfast yesterday.
Well, there's not really any story about it. It was a $104 breakfast. It's decadent. It's outrageous. There's nothing, absolutely nothing that you could possibly do for two people to serve them breakfast that would cost $104. It's just an arbitrary number snatched out of the air because there are people that will pay it.
Was there no prices on the menu?
Of course there were.
Oh, because I know there's some restaurants that their philosophy is if you can't afford to pay the price, they don't put prices on the menu.
This restaurant doesn't want to run up a $104 tab for a couple of people that can't afford to pay it.
Right.
No, their prices all over the place.
Yeah.
It's just it's an arbitrary number just plucked out of the air because that's what people will pay.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that there are hundreds of people on one block on one given day willing to pay that kind of money is a very sad statement,
mm-hmm.
I think, about who and what we are and what we've become.
That's even a higher price to pay for a dinner.
Hey, it's almost as much as you'd have to pay for a plumber. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Be good. Talk about plucking prices out of the air. 990-9352 in Hillsboro, 461-9352 in Pinellas. Dunedin, again, my God, 2 in a row. That's got to be a record. Hi, Dunn, you're on the air.
Yes, hi, Bob.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I listened to your show last week, and I can't remember the day that you did it, but you did a show about children from broken homes.
I think it was Tuesday.
Yeah, and my wife left me 2 months ago and took our newborn son with her back to Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been going through rough times, but
I can understand.
Your show has made me really think that we should stop thinking about ourselves. So I called her up and everything. So I'm leaving tomorrow to go back to Virginia and try and work things out so that we be a family again for our sake and our son's sake, because we both still love each other. It's just the financial times in Florida got too much for us, and I really...
Being away from home doesn't help either.
I really didn't think about it until I listened to your show on Tuesday. I just wanted to call and let you know that made me think, and I'm going to do anything I can to get my family back together again. I just want to thank you very much for that.
Well, my dear young man, I've been in this business off and on for something going on 19 years, and I've been in this end of the business for about 3.5, 4 years, and I can't ever think of a nicer call I've ever had.
Well, I just want to thank you again, Bob. You really opened my eyes and made me aware that I have to do everything I can for my sake, her sake, and the baby's sake.
Thanks you very
again.
much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. 2 lines open, both in Hillsborough, 990-9352. Steffner, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Hello, Bob.
Hi.
I'm a first-time caller.
Great.
Great. Hey, listen, I want to know what's with our banking system these days.
What do you mean?
My girlfriend today got her income tax check. Came in yesterday.
Right.
She's been to 4 banks trying to cash it.
Right, they won't. They never.
Won't.
Oh, God, that goes back
for many
years.
Is the country bankrupt or what?
No.
Well, is the check any good?
Sure, it's good.
Well,
but they are relatively easy to forge. That's one of the great problems. Yeah, they're actually easier to forge than most payroll checks. And that's one of the great problems. That's why banks won't cash them.
Well, how do you go about getting one cashed?
You better have an account there. Open up an account and wait for it to clear.
Well, that's a ripoff.
No, it's not a ripoff.
They should have a government check cashing agency.
Banks are under no obligation to cash checks for you. They're a private business.
Well, that's true.
You know, they're under no more obligation than the public is to cash your check.
Well, is the government then, are they legal to be writing a check for that's efficiently?
It's not that no one will cash it for you. You want the money right now. Well, lots of people will cash it for you. All they ask you to do is wait for it to clear. It's not that no one will cash it. It's just that they won't cash it on demand. There's nothing on that check that says payable on demand.
That's true.
That's why, the currency says.
The currency says.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know what that says. Well, I just thought I'd let you call and see what you had to say.
Oh, it's very frustrating. I know where you're coming from. I remember trying to go around and getting the damn things cashed. You wait all year to get it back, and there it is.
She's been yelling at me all day. She's taking it 3 or 4 banks.
It's going to take you a week if you don't have a bank account. It's going to take you at least a week to get it cleared and cashed. Or I suppose you could go to one of those check cashing agencies. I don't know what they charge, but they charge something for it.
10%.
That I'd have no idea about.
What about Grand Prix Car Wash? You think they might cash it if I got the car wash?
I doubt it very much. They're not in the business of cashing checks either.
No, they're not too good at washing cars either.
Oh, really? How's that?
Well, last time I took my truck through there, I had scratches on the side of it from them.
Yeah, did you tell them about it?
Oh, yeah.
And?
And also my windshield.
Did you tell them about it, and what happened?
Nothing.
I'll tell you what, bring the truck. I'll tell you what. Bring the truck down here. Let me see the scratches on the side. Let me see the windshield that's scratched. You and I will both go down to the Grand Prix, and I'll see to it that something's done about it.
So the windshield itself, you know how they clean it with those rags?
Mm-hmm.
And then as soon as you get out, like when the sun's getting kind of low, all you see is those hazy streaks.
I'll tell you what. You bring the truck down here to the radio station. You and I will go to the location where you say it happened. We'll talk to the man that you brought it to his attention, and we'll get something done about it.
Okay.
Okay?
Good. Okay.
Okay, I'll be expecting you.
All right, thank you.
Take care. 1 line open. Make it 2. Both in Hillsborough, 990-9352, 990-WFLA. St. Petersburg. Hi, Saint. You're on the air.
Hi, Bob. This is Tim.
Hi, Tim.
I'm a first-time caller, I guess.
I hope so. That's all I want.
Okay.
For the benefit of those people just joining, if you've ever called this radio station before, don't call today.
Okay. Basically, I was kind of interested in what you were started with at the beginning of your program. I was in the car on the parking lot they call US 19, and I was kind of curious what you had going.
Well, everybody's going to have to be curious about it.
Oh, okay.
What has happened, and I'm not trying to be a hard ass, Tim, but sometimes you got to shake people up. But what has happened in talk radio is in the last couple of months, for some strange reason, it has been so damned easy to get calls. It's pathetic, but it suddenly dawned on me that they're all the same people.
Well,
we've got 40, 50 people out there that just call every damn day, every damn show.
Well, I've been a listener for probably close to a year now, but calling, it's something I had never really wanted to do. I enjoy your program. I like listening to it, but I feel like...
Well, Tim, here's a really difficult thing to understand. I completely understand what you're saying. I wouldn't call one of these things for love nor money. However, if you want to listen to it, somebody's got to do it, and I'm just tired of Jack and Gulfport. I'm tired of all the other characters.
Well, if I can help you out, I'm glad I could call today, and, maybe this is a way of breaking the ice so I can call more often.
You see, it is. You didn't get an electrical shock.
No.
We haven't. No one has traced the call and gone over and let the air out of your tires.
And no one knows if I'm doing this at work either, so I'm all right.
Right, nobody's going to tell the boss. Please, the next time you get the urge, don't let it keep you from behind, because I just don't want to hear the same people anymore.
Will you do me one thing?
I'll do the best I can. What's that?
Would you do it some other time down the road?
Yes, I will, because I put too damn much work in it, to tell you the truth.
Okay.
Okay, be good.
Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye. One line open, it's in Pinellas. Holiday, hi, Holiday, you're on the air at 970. Fine, thank you.
What I'm calling about, I read an interesting editorial in the St. Petersburg Times yesterday, and I kind of wanted to elicit your response on it. It was written by a physician in St. Petersburg who suggested a way to make a quick $1 million was to open a chain of restaurants that catered to the non-smoking population. Did you read that by any chance?
No, I didn't, but I think it'd probably be crazy.
It starts off by talking about how, a small trace of cyanide found in the grapes brought that $1 million industry to a halt, and yet there are probably 1,000 people a day that die from cancer, and that's his viewpoint at attacking it. And frankly,
And you go on an airplane, it's just the last handful of seats. Those back there by the galley and by the washrooms where all the noise is, and sometimes even some aroma, but that's neither here nor there.
Well, I'm kind of glad that there's become such an awareness of the secondary smoke problem, and frankly, I still go to a lot of restaurants where it seems that the smoking area is just as large as the non-smoking area, and that usually irritates me. So I kind of like to see more legislation even maybe passed leading towards that.
Try this one on for size. I just came back from New Orleans. We went to a restaurant, I guess it was Saturday afternoon, called Mr. B's Bistro on Royal Street, right in the heart of the French Quarter. And we walked in, and they said smoking or non-smoking. And for us, it really doesn't make any difference. Wherever they can seat us the fastest, no problem. And so the maitre d' said, well, fine, I'll put you in the non-smoking section. And he took us over. And what I'm about to tell you is the absolute truth. There were perhaps 5 or 6 tables in this little grouping, and about half of them had little signs on them with a cigarette inside of a circle with a slash through it, and the other half had ashtrays. So in essence, what he did is he put us at a table where he told us we couldn't smoke, when we'd already told him we didn't want to smoke. That I guess was supposed to make us happy because it had a sign on it that said no smoking, but the tables right next to it had ashtrays on them.
Right.
But that, again, I think is becoming more and more unusual. Friday night, another restaurant, humongous room just for non-smokers. Not an ashtray in the room. So it's getting there.
All right, Bob.
Thank you.
Appreciate your opinion.
One line open. It's in Pinellas, 461-9352. Before I go to the break, I threw a hissy fit, blew a fuse, call it whatever you want to call it at the top of this hour. Maybe it's not being fair to the people who have not abused, but the problem is I just can't take the same voices over and over on this station and every other station. And so for the rest of this week, I don't want to hear from you if you have ever called this radio station. Calb's Cove in Madeira Beach. To the phones again we go. Town and Country. Hi, Town. You're on the air.
Good afternoon, Bob.
Afternoon, sir.
I'd just like to talk briefly about your little dilemma today.
Okay.
I'd like to let you know that I've really been listening to you since you were over at the other station. Never had the opportunity to call because I'm in my car just about all day. Happened to have come home early today. Most of us can't always get to a phone. And if we do have the opportunity to get to a phone, we don't always have the opportunity to wait for the half hour or 45 minutes or whatever it is to get on the air to talk to you.
Well, somebody's got to.
I understand, but you have to keep your jets cool and understand that there's a lot of us who listen to you faithfully out there every day.
I appreciate that.
Not because you're such a great guy, but because we enjoy listening to the comments. And
well, sir, if I don't have, how many times do you need to hear from Jack and Gulfport? How many times do you need to hear from Jerry and Palmacia? They all say the same thing.
I don't disagree with you, Bob, but there are those of us out there who are trying to make a living. I hope you can understand that.
Well, yeah, I do understand it, and I'm tickled pink that you've taken the time today to call. Let's see, you've been on hold for 8 minutes to this point. My board is suddenly filled with people who have never called this radio station before. You know, it's for your good, for my good. I'm a listener, too. And I go insane. No, not him again. He's been on every day for 3 weeks. When I'm sitting home listening. I would think you guys would, too.
I understand, Bob. Let me bring up a brief little thing that you might want to look into.
Sure.
For a future show. I have a copy of the Wall Street Journal. It's something that came close to me because my wife was asked to sign a non-compete agreement at work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure a person in your stature and professional relationships, you've been asked to sign non-compete agreements in certain market areas, so on and so forth.
Asked to sign no, sir. They held a rifle to my head.
Pardon?
Asked to sign no. They held a rifle to my head.
Agreed. Well, that's
many times.
Well, that's pretty much the same point. I'd like, if you think you'd like to look into this, I'd be more than happy to send you a copy of this Wall Street Journal article that goes into it. The point that I'd like to make on it is not from the legal ramifications, but from the standpoint of it a lot of times takes away a person's right to work in what I would consider to be a fairly non-skilled field.
What skill was that?
Pardon?
What skill is that?
Okay, well, just take, for example, I'm a salesman, okay? If I go into a company and he chooses to teach me how to sell widgets, and these widgets are sold to a select group of clients, then he's going to open up his book and tell me who that select group of clients is that he's spent tons of money trying to research and find out who they are, then I could understand having to sign a non-compete. But when my clients are just about anybody in the phone book... Yes?
You're lying to me. I've heard this call before.
Why?
You've made this call before, sir.
No,
within the last week.
No.
Strange the person who did use the same analogy, widgets.
Well, it's a standard terminology in the sales business.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. Go ahead.
Would you like me to send you a copy of the Wall Street Journal?
No, I don't need a copy of the Wall Street Journal. I know what a non-compete is. I have some very, very strong, definite opinions on them.
Okay.
And it's just it's a fact of life. In some industries, I happen to agree with them.
Well,
for example, in my industry, I basically agree with it unless the radio station is sold or changes formats.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What I'm trying to tell you about here, Bob, is that there are industries out there where the employer is not offering the employee anything extra special, not teaching them a particular skill, not showing them some kind of trade secrets.
Well, then, of course, usually in a situation, there are basically 3 tests for a non-compete. One is, of course, the secrets, which very few of us are actually made aware of. The second test is extraordinary salary. And the third test is, as a general rule of thumb, extraordinary promotion. For example, someone like myself, if this radio station went out and put up 50 billboards all over town, and tomorrow morning I go to work for the competition, this radio station has a real strong case to keep me in my non-compete. But if they do nothing whatsoever to promote me, they don't pay me any more than they pay anybody else. As a matter of fact, they pay me less, then this station would have a very difficult time enforcing my non-compete.
I agree with you, but let me tell you what we found out when my wife was given a non-compete to sign.
In what industry, sir?
Pardon?
In what industry? Not only do I intend to follow up on that call we had a little bit earlier in this hour about the guy that says, the people at Grand Prix scratched his car and would not do anything about it, but if he does show up, I intend to follow up on it, and I intend to let you know. And including if indeed it turns out to be true and the manager at that location didn't take care of the guy's car, I'm going to let you know about that location. Because that would make me very, very unhappy. You see, I've never heard of anything like that at the Grand Prix Car Wash, because the Grand Prix Car Wash is a service company. And I kind of suspect this guy might have some affiliation with some other car wash or something. But I promise you, if he shows up, I'll let you know the precise outcome. Because I believe in the people at the Grand Prix Car Wash. I wouldn't be talking about them if I didn't. And I know that sometimes things go wrong. Hey, happens to everybody. But I also know that the people at the Grand Prix don't want you to leave unsatisfied. They won't let you leave unsatisfied because they want you back next week. That's kind of the main difference between the Grand Prix and a lot of other car washes. 3 locations to serve you. 1880 Gulf to Bay Boulevard, right across from the Clearwater High School. In Seminole, there are 10471 Park Boulevard, and in South Tampa, 3622 Gandy Boulevard, a half a block east of the Crosstown, the Grand Prix. I put my name on them. Safety Harbor, hi, Safety. You're on the air at 970 WFLA.
How you doing?
Doing fine, thank you.
Listen, I ain't called you before. Like I told your producer there, the last time I called was about 10 years ago when Jack Harris was on the air. I don't particularly like your show, but I do listen to it every day. I find it entertaining. And I do get tired of hearing the same people, and I have to agree with you. It does get boring after a while.
Well, when I was sitting in there this afternoon and I realized that these people were calling for the second and sometimes third time a day.
Yeah, that's a bit much. And I'll tell you one thing. I was disappointed that format you had going, that you stopped it. I don't blame you for stopping it. Don't get me wrong now. But I was disappointed. I wanted to see where this thing was going. But like I say, I listen to you every day. I drive around all day and I work out of my truck.
Well, as a matter of fact, I'll tell you where it was going because I promised another caller I would do it again, but I can't do it again. There was a story in the newspaper today that caught my eye. It was in Portland, Maine. Situation is a man was stabbed in the throat about 5 years ago. He has been a vegetable ever since on a life support system. The individual who stabbed him was tried and convicted, I assume, for aggravated assault or whatever the proper term is. I'm not a lawyer. Went off to jail, served his 3 years. He is now out of jail, living in another state. He has paid his debt to society. The family of the man, the victim, they want to pull the plug. The guy who did the stabbing doesn't want them to pull the plug because technically he could then be tried again for murder.
Oh.
It's an incredibly interesting story with ramifications beyond belief. I mean, we're talking about double jeopardy. We're talking about quality of life. We're talking about right to life. We're talking about all kinds of things. The man, the victim, had indicated, or so his family says, that he never wanted to be on a life support system. Don't ever put me on one of those things. You know, is that suicide? On and on and on it goes. And I'll tell you, man, I was so damn pleased with myself when I came up with that story today and sat down and put together all of the possibilities. And I wanted the bleeding heart liberals to hang themselves. I wanted the conservatives to hang themselves. The right to lifers.
I can see where you were going.
But I can't do it if I don't have an audience to take part in it.
Yes. Can I say one more thing?
You sure can.
You got your new promo going that you're going to do some of your radio shows for somebody's living room.
Right.
Okay. Now I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do, and you don't know me from Adam, and I ain't going to tell you what my living room looks like. But I ain't a goober smoocher. I don't live up in Carrollwood. I don't drive a BMW. I live in a section of town over here in Safety Harbor. The houses are worth $60,000-$70,000. I work every day, 40 hours plus. I pay my bills. I vote every damn time there's a vote. You can check the voter registry rolls on that. And I try to be a good citizen. I try to raise my family. And I work every day, like I say, pay my taxes, and I do everything that I'm supposed to do. With the exception, maybe I speed just a little bit too much every now and then. All right? And I'm going to send my letter in and my picture of my living room, and I'm just going to see if you're going to pick a house like that. Because I honestly believe that you're going to wind up in some politicos or some politician's house or some goober smoochers.
No way.
Out on Davis Island sitting on a damn veranda out there. And I just want to see how down to earth you really are. Like I said, J-Bob, and I'll call you Bob, I don't particularly like your show, but I listen to it because I feel it's interesting. One other little comment. I caught that Morton Downey show. We went up to visit my daughter. She lives up in New Jersey, out in a little town called Harmony. And we visit the grandkids and all Christmas time. And I caught that Morton Downey show. That was the big thing up there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've been following USA Today, where he's going to cut back his show and he's going to be nicer, and people aren't.
Oh, it's already happened.
Aren't advertising with him anymore.
Wow.
Well, I felt that this guy. Do you remember old Joe Pine?
I sure do.
Now, Joe Pine, I used to get the biggest kick out of, but then again, I was a lot younger, too. See, I don't think I'd get the biggest kick out of him now. But I used to get a big kick out of him. And who was that fella out there in Colorado that got shot?
Oh, Alan Berg.
Alan Berg. I used to watch him, too, when he was over there in the New York area. And
No. You got Alan Berg and Alan Burke mixed up. Alan Burke is still quite alive. He's working at WCAU in Philadelphia.
Oh, okay. Then not my mistake.
Alan Burke and Joe Pine were on at the same time in New York.
Right. Oh, okay. And my mistake then. But I'll tell you what. I hope you don't ever get that damn bad. I swear to God, because I don't think I'll be able to carry that on my radio.
Well, I thank you very much. And by the way, I'll be honest with you. The reason for the pictures is for security purposes, because obviously we're going to send people out to check to make sure that the people who are writing in.
Let me tell you, I got an AK-47 at the house.
Has nothing whatsoever to do with plush living rooms, unplush living rooms. It's a security precaution.
Well, we'll see. Listen, Bob, you have a good one. You hear me?
I'm trying.
Keep it up, baby.
Bye-bye. Bye. One line available. It's in, where is it? It's in Pinellas County. The number 461-9352. Only proviso today, as a matter of fact, for the rest of the week, is that you've never called the radio station before.
When news happens in Lutz or anywhere in the Bay Area, hear it first on News Radio 9.
Are you supposed to send congratulations or something to the Weather Bureau when you said 4 o'clock? Welcome back. It is a Tuesday. I don't even remember what date it is. It doesn't make any difference. I think we should send them flowers. Oh, okay. We should send something to the people who have that big tower down there on Kennedy Boulevard. They could trick. What in any event, I have no idea what date it is. It's the 28th, 29th, something like that. You ought to be keeping track of it yourself. There's no reason for me to have to keep track of it for you. This is what is going on. I can take no more the constant repetition of callers on this radio station. And you know, it's amazing. You tune in some of the other radio stations, and they're the same damn people over there on the air. Enough is enough. So we have simply asked that people who have ever called this radio station before not call today. Ever. If you have ever called the radio station before, do not call today. Only people who have never called, obviously. And they, since they are all, if you will, virgins, can talk about whatever they want to talk about. 2 lines available, both of them in Hillsborough, 990-9352, 990-WFLA. Holiday, hi, you're on the air at 970, Holiday.
Yes, Bob, before I forget, I wanted to mention the Grand Prix car wash. I don't know what location that guy went to, but after listening to you for a while, I've been listening to you since you were on 570, whatever the call letters were back then. They changed
WPLP.
PLP, okay. And I got turned on to you when Fowler and Coles, who I found boring, but their calls were interesting, they kept complaining about you, so I finally started listening to you, and I've been listening to you ever since.
Well, you figured any guy that Jim Knowles would complain about had to be decent, right?
Right.
I understand.
Okay, but anyway, so I checked out the Grand Prix car wash because I drove by it every once in a while on, 60 in Clearwater. And one time I went through there with my wife's car that had a bent antenna. And after coming through, they wanted to pay to fix it. And,
it's always been my experience. That's the kind of operation it is.
Right. I mean, I told them, no, look, it was like that beforehand, and they were okay. I mean, I could have gotten it fixed, I guess. Now that I think back, gee, it would have been a great idea to get the thing fixed. But I mean, they're just wonderful. I've gone there several times since, and so I don't know what this guy, what his angle is.
Well, hey, there's a very strong possibility, I suppose, that he's telling me the truth and that he will show up and that we will go over. And I promise you, if I find out they didn't do the right by the guy, I'm going to let you know.
Okay.
It's my name.
Right.
That I'm putting on this, and it has always been my experience that the people want you back next week, too. So we'll see.
I mean, they even say that when you leave. They'll say they've almost every time I've gone there, they always say, "See you next week." So I've had some real positive experience with it. They're really friendly.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, and I'm sure the people at the Grand Prix do, too.
Okay, the other thing, with waiting, I'm not quite sure. I think it was about a half an hour that I waited, and I think that's one of the reasons why, I think every time I hear Lionel, he gets this guy, CJ in Sarasota.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what it is, I mean, these people, and like Rocky and whatever, who keep calling, they call I mean, Ratliff comes on. They'll call him. They'll call anything because they can wait 30 minutes, 40 minutes. And some of us, if I call up, if I can't get on right away, I usually don't have enough time. I got other things I'm doing. I'm working. I can't really, boss doesn't want you to stay on the phone. I just happen to be off this afternoon. But the one thing I was trying to get you last week, and unfortunately, when I finally was able to get through, we had some time to really sit down and call, was Friday, and you were gone. And I wanted to talk to you about Easter and Christians, because I've been a deist ever since I read Madison's explanations of the Federalist Papers back in college, and it made sense to me. I mean, this was like I'd been an agnostic and an atheist, and I've been searching for some way to go, and the hypocrisy.
Yep, that's the only Christian that I know of is Mother Teresa.
Yeah, and I'm sure if you ask
all the others are Paulus.
Yeah, I mean, the Pope celebrates Easter Mass, but yet, if I ask, like this weekend, I happened to run down, not like run down with a car, but to run down a priest I happened to see in the shopping center, and I was just, he had the collar on. I went up and I just went right up and asked him because I didn't get to talk to you Friday, so I figured I had to talk to somebody, and I just asked him about Easter, and he admitted it was a rite of spring, but he said it's now a traditional Christian holiday.
Well, one of the great problems was, when you're starting up a new religion, and you're basically drawing on people from an older religion. These people have their traditions.
Right.
And you got to kind of have to come up with the same thing. People were used to doing this. I don't know, maybe buying a new smock in the spring like we used to do with bonnets.
Right.
It's as clear can be.
Yeah.
What has happened. But if you don't want to believe it, hey, you don't want to believe it. Such is life. All I ask is that you don't try to shove it down my throat.
Right.
If you do, I'm going to shove back.
Okay. Well, that was basically it. I just wanted, because like a lot of times when you have these programs where these Christians will call up and you'll challenge their beliefs, you're basically exposing them as being non-Christians. But I don't really think you ever, sometimes you might get some of the other people out there to think, but I'm not sure that those types of people, the born-again Christians.
Yeah, but come on, they're so damned interesting and entertaining to listen to.
Oh yeah. Well, I heard an expression the other day. That born-again Christians are even a bigger pain in the second time around.
Thank you very much.
Okay, you take care, Bob.
One line available. It happens to be the Practical Joke line, 1-223-9797. Dunedin, hi, Dun. You're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Hello, Bob.
Hi.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
I hope you're happier now that you have all of us non-callers in.
I haven't been this happy. I couldn't tell you when.
You've really sounded very unhappy lately. Even my husband has noticed it.
You're right. The last week, I just have not been enjoying the gig.
Well, I think it's been longer than a week, though, hasn't it, Bob?
Not really.
Similar to what the Scandinavians are doing. I mean, look at Medicare. We're wasting all this money keeping people alive when they don't want to be.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Whoa. Gary McHenry,
hi, Bob.
The world's most dangerous traffic reporter, part of the world's most dangerous afternoon team, right here at 970 WFLA. Gary, I've got this newspaper here in front of me, and it's talking about this 3-day Yahtzee tournament that took place last week in Apalachicola. Would you know anything about that?
I don't know anything about that, Bob.
Interesting.
3 days, huh?
Yeah. What was that fox's name that you were with last weekend?
Alma.
And her phone number?
I can't give that out on the air.
But you do have it.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, that's the ticket, right?
Yeah. Apalachicola, 3 days, huh? Wow. Yes, I didn't know anything about that.
Yeah. Well, how's the traffic this afternoon, Gary?
Well, gee whiz, I don't know. I just,
What do you mean you don't know? We pay you to fly around in the damn plane up there. What do you mean you don't know?
Don't be mean to me, Bob. I didn't do too well at that tournament. I haven't been feeling well, Bob. Don't hurt my feelings, okay?
Yeah, right.
We had traffic along, I'm trying to figure, I just saw an accident. It makes me so darn mad. Police tell you where all the accidents are. I go look at them, there's nothing there, and then I spot one that's not supposed to be there. Maine.
That your family always seems to be coughing and sneezing and wheezing. All just a coincidence. Well, maybe it's not.
maybe it's time to pick up the telephone and call 1-800-442-DUST. 1-800-442-DUST. That number will put you in touch with Master Care Maintenance. They can either come out to your house and get right down to work if your system is more than 3, 4, 5 years old. It's putting out, in essence, indoor pollution. And you can call Master Care Maintenance, have them come right out, vacuum those vents, vacuum those ducts, put in new filters, or you can have them come out and take a test. Yeah, test the air in your house. They'll do it. Master Care Maintenance. 1-800-442-DUST. It's up to you. Hey, it's only your health, the health of your family. Palmacia, hi, Palm. You're on the air at 970 WFLA.
How you doing, Bob?
Fine, thank you.
I know you hate to hear that question about 200 times a day.
You guys are all
first-time
callers. You guys are all first-time callers, so it's, acceptable today.
Yeah, I can see why a lot of people are first-time callers or hang up while they're waiting. However, it is interesting, you do play the radio over the phone for the people, so...
Hey, well, think of it this way. If anything gets dumped, those of you who are on hold will hear what was dumped. You see, there is a little bit of an advantage. Not much, but a little.
This is my first time caller to your radio station, but I did call the radio once before. Back in the 60s, I called WLCY Open Mic at night.
Well, that doesn't count.
I didn't think it would.
Nah.
Listen, I've had a wonderful day today. I was up on Interstate 75, and I was monitoring the flow of northbound vehicles that have only been down here since December.
Yeah, it starts about this time of the year. Isn't it a great sight?
Well, the thing is, Bob, see, people like you come down here from up north, and for some reason they just get caught up in the flow of things, and they don't spend all day talking about how if you were to leave for some reason, the entire place would just go to hell, and it's for some reason the part I look for every year is all this money these people are bringing me. I keep hearing about it on the TV and on the radio and stuff about all the tourism and everything, but
oh, it's true, sir. My listeners send me that money all the time. Canadian quarters, Canadian dimes, Canadian nickels. Sometimes they even send me Canadian $1 and $2 bills.
Yeah, I know. I sold a car one time for Canadian money cash, and I didn't understand. I learned I remember when I was young, like a Canadian dime was a dime and a Canadian quarter was a quarter. But by the time I had enough money to actually own an automobile to where I could sell it to someone, a Canadian dollar was not worth an American dollar anymore.
What a cram course in foreign exchange.
Yes, but that's all right. I doubt the car made it back to Canada anyway. Probably laughed. He probably laughed all the way to Valdosta about how he'd ripped off a cracker, but, I'm sure I got the last laugh when I found out I at least got something for my car. I couldn't sell it to anybody locally. They all knew me.
Well, hey, that's a great story, and on such a fantastic story. Would you mind if I put Don Richards on?
Go ahead.
He's standing by at the WFLA news desk. Donald? And there's the phones we go. This time, Bradenton. Hi, Bradenton. You're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Hello, Bob.
Hi.
Bob, I started listening to your program today when you started off, and I'm a long-time listener, first-time caller, and sometimes I feel it could be our fault, too. I've heard a lot of people you said your lines were jammed, that were first-time callers, and I'm sure there's a lot of long-time listeners like myself, a year and a half, that just have sat back and did nothing this period of time. That took this outburst today to get us to call. And sometimes I would have to put the blame on us also.
Well, like I said earlier, I understand not calling. I'll be damned if I would. But unfortunately, if the show must go on, then there must be people to call. And again, coming from the standpoint of a listener, a talk radio listener, I just can't take the same voices over and over again. So I don't know what else to do.
Oh, that's understandable. About 10 years ago, I hosted a sports talk show in Pennsylvania. And I got the same callers day after day after day after day after day. And I understand why you can get frustrated by it. And I guess, like you said, you've turned on other radio stations and you've heard them on there also.
The same damn people over there, too. Unreal. I don't know where they find the time. I really just don't know where they find the time to call.
But we listen to you every day, and I don't know. I just don't know why we don't pick up we don't give you the opportunity, ourselves take the opportunity to express our opinions to you, I guess.
Well, mend your ways in the future.
We sure will, Bob, and I thank you very much.
I thank you very much. Be good. One line available. It's in Hillsboro. 990-9352. Clear Water. Hi, Clear. You're on the air.
Hi, Bob.
Hi.
Well, I can't believe you actually got me to do this. Forgive me for being nervous. First of all, I have to say thank you very much for telling me about Dr. Sobel. I'm a non-smoker, and I thank you very much, Mike.
All about Dr. Robert Sobel.
Well, speak of quit for life, I was hearing some talk over there in the pilot's room, Garrow, that a lot of the guys over there thought that there's something besides smoking that you've quit for life with.
What's that, Bob?
Boxes.
Bob, it's worse than any type of addiction. I wish there was something I could do.
Yeah.
It's not me, Bob. It's not me. I don't do anything.
That's what I've heard.
Driving along. I can still try, though, can't I?
Yeah, my wife, the first time she saw you, she said, "He doesn't do anything for me."
That's just a front.
And then she got to talking with all the girls in the girls' room. They all said the same thing, too. He doesn't do anything for me either. I don't understand.
As I mentioned before, Bob, every time we've socialized, I've had 3 or 4 foxes. You've just had one.
Well, Gar, as I've mentioned to you, I always went home with one.
Traffic along Gulf Boulevard, north and southbound, it is heavy. People actually...
This country, only men voted. Only property owners voted.
True.
And consequently, you know, the villages are relatively small. It's no big deal. All the guys were in town on Tuesdays. What the hell?
Well, I mean, I think it was some other countries got them on Saturdays, and they have quite a better turnout. And try to get a country which is so great, such as ours, try to get more people to vote. I think maybe we can introduce...
Whoa! You see, there's another part of the problem. It's not always in the establishment's interest that people vote, which is one of the reasons where it's not always very easy to vote.
That's why I'm saying make it on Saturdays.
But you just missed what I said. It's not always in the establishment's interest that you vote.
But it's us who are voting. So if we should decide to change it, why can't we change it?
Well, you could.
Okay. The other thing is how come we cannot, or the government does not institute some sort of a tax break for people who do want to vote? City, state, county. This way here, it may give them an incentive to go out and vote.
It's almost surely unconstitutional because what that amounts to is in essence a reverse. Yeah, it's a reverse poll tax.
That's what I thought.
And you know, if you can't tax people who do vote, then you can't tax people who don't vote.
Well, no, the taxes will still be the same. We're just giving you, let's say, like a 2% discount.
No. You missed it. The taxes would not be the same for the people who didn't vote. They would be higher than for the people who did vote. It would be a reverse poll tax.
That shoots my idea down the drain. I guess I can't run for president then, huh?
Well, hey, these guys that ran for president said things that were a hell of a lot sillier than that.
I just wanted to ask
That's not silly. I mean, what you said, it just, I think, would probably be illegal. What they were talking about was silly.
Okay. Sounds good to me. You have a good show, Bob, and take care of yourself.
Be good.
Okay, buddy. Bye-bye.
Off it is now to Tampa. Hi, Tampa. You're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Yeah, this is Don. First-time caller.
Great. I hope so.
Now I know why I never call again. I've been waiting 40, 50 minutes.
47.
47 minutes.
Uh-huh.
And like I say, I'm nervous.
I understand.
My mind's been
sir, every day when I sit down here at 3 o'clock, I am nervous. I quite understand.
But for 47 minutes, what I wanted to talk about, I've changed 18 times.
That I can understand, too.
So I got to say one thing. Hats off to anybody that would do this every day. I understand why the people call you every day. They got to be unusual people.
That's one way of phrasing it.
And because that's such shallow lives, this beautiful area we live in, to be inside hanging for 47 minutes to talk on radio, I can't understand that. But
well, yeah, there are times when I can. Today, obviously, you're doing me a favor, and I appreciate it, and I appreciate it very much. There are other times when a show is really hot, where people really want to take part in it, and believe me, the 47 minutes goes by a hell of a lot faster than it does today. Today you're doing me a favor, and I appreciate it.
Also got in to listen to you. You know, they enjoy you very much. But I know why some of your callers call all the time is they're hoping to get hired.
Some people have said that. Yep.
Yeah, now, don't get me wrong. I really like Lionel. You know,
is that who you were talking about? I didn't know.
Yeah, you know, he was a caller, and then now he's a talk show host, and he's, in fact, I remember the first time he called you, which was excellent. I laughed so hard I couldn't stand. You know, that's over the other,
great
the
caller.
other channel, yeah.
A great caller, perhaps the finest.
Oh, when he called when you had the general manager or the owner of the other station there with you.
Yes, Yoki.
I laughed so hard I couldn't stand it.
The world's second greatest call.
Second great? Was it the second?
Only topped by Mr. Airstream.
Oh yeah. Well, who did that?
Rocky.
Was that Rocky? Yeah, that was Rocky. Yeah. Okay. I just do want to thank you for all the times that you have entertained me and made me laugh and cry and made me think and your religious views matches mine quite a bit, so I think that's the reason why I kept listening to you. And what else do I need to say? Oh, Kojak's on Gandy.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Have you?
Oh, the rib place.
Yeah, if you haven't tried it, try it.
Yeah, the rib place on Gandy. You're right. I have to go back there. It's been a long time. My friend, I thank you ever so much.
Okay, Bob, and thanks for keeping me on for 47 minutes.
Will do. Be good. 990-9352 in Hillsborough, 461-9352 in Pinellas. Don Richards standing by at the WFLA News Desk. Town and Country Mortgage and Investment Corporation, the solution. Licensed mortgage brokers. Back to the phones again. It is this time Tampa. Hi, Tampa. You're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Yeah, hi, Bob.
Hi.
I got a couple complaints here.
Okay.
First-time caller here. I'm in the phone booth for the last 45 minutes here. Let me just wring my shirt out. It's kind of sweaty here today.
22 minutes.
I think I can figure out what's going on here, Bob, with why you're not getting first-time callers here.
Why am I, sir? I've done nothing but first-time callers all afternoon.
Well, okay. It doesn't take a genius to figure out. I listen to your phone listen to your radio station from 8 in the morning until 6 at night.
Uh-huh.
And I don't understand why they're putting you in this time slot here. Yesterday, I timed between 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock, and you were on the air for exactly 26 minutes. I mean, it doesn't make sense that they're throwing news breaks at us every 2 seconds. Gary McHenry's in the air. Every 40 seconds, I'm getting a traffic report. I mean, it's ridiculous. I can see why your listeners are turning you off in this time.
Sir, my listeners are not turning me off.
Well, I had a party at my house the other night, and I had...
Great. You have friends, sir?
Excuse me?
You actually have friends?
Oh, yeah, I have a few.
It's amazing, because first of all, you lied about how long you were on hold.
Well, how long
Secondly,
was it,
22 minutes, not 45.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, it's real easy when you can't tell time to mix up 22 minutes and 45 minutes. Then you go on to talk about how I don't get any first-time callers when I'm sitting here dealing with nothing else, sir. What I started with, it wasn't me, sir. It's the whole damn station. I can't stand hearing... Jerry from Palmacia doesn't call me, sir, but once a month. He calls everybody else every day, or at least so it seems. Joe from Odessa doesn't call me at all anymore because I banned him, but he calls everybody else virtually every day, sir. So I don't know where the hell you're trying to come from, and I'm glad you've been standing in a phone booth for 45 minutes. I wish I could make it 45 minutes. 990-9352 in Hillsborough, 461-9352 in Pinellas. Tampa, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Hi, Bob.
Hi.
I'm a first-time caller, but I don't think my reason for not calling you is not because, well, it's because I didn't think I was good enough to call, I mean, I never thought I had anything good enough to say. I mean, I thought everyone else
opinions?
was... Huh?
Do you have opinions on things?
Of course.
Well, then you're good enough to call. What do you mean not good enough to call? That's a silly thing to say.
Well, I mean, I never know what to say. I mean, there's such good callers out there. They call and they make everybody laugh for like 20 minutes or so, and they talk about them. I mean, I never thought I had anything to say that would make people... excited enough to call and make the program.
No, I don't know of anybody that has things good enough to say to make people excited all the time.
Oh, but I really enjoy your show. I don't get the privilege of listening to all of it, though. I don't get off work till 4, and I don't make it home. I turn you on as soon as I get in the car, so I get to hear you about 10 after 4 till 6. I really enjoy listening to you. I just want to let you know that I only got to hear part of it.
You see, the only people I give a hard time to, basically people fall into two categories that get a really rough time for me. Those people who lie blatantly. I can deal with anybody's opinion. I just cannot deal with people who go out of their way to state things that are not true. And those people who foolishly try to offend or insult me. I get paid to offend and insult people. Amateurs shouldn't try. But in terms of an opinion, I'll listen to anybody's opinion. I want people on the program who basically do not agree with me. Because that's what makes a conversation.
Yeah. Well, also, I was a little scared to talk on the air, and I was also scared because you're so intelligent.
No, not very intelligent at all. I'm a high school dropout. I'm a lucky man that has a damn good job, and I'm aware of it.
Well, you use your mouth well. You speak well, and you say intelligent things to make me think, and I get a lot out of the program. I'm so nervous here. But,
don't be nervous. I'm nervous, too. Ain't no big deal.
But I get a whole lot out of the program. I don't know what I'd do if you weren't on the air. And you're supposed to be on vacation next week, right?
No, not me.
Oh,
no,
okay.
I'm not going anyplace next week that I'm aware of.
But thanks a lot for your show. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for being you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
When news happens in Tampa or anywhere in the Bay Area, hear it first on News Radio 970 WFLA. Our newsroom never closes.
We've got to the hour, 5 o'clock. Welcome back, third and final hour for this Tuesday edition of whatever it may be. All started out this way. I saw a story in the paper I just loved this morning, and I put together, kind of a slightly different way of approaching it, one of those nice gut-wrenching stories, and came in, laid it on the audience. I said, hey guys, trust me on this one. Go along with me. I really need your help. And we got one serious dude on the phone and like 7 or 8 other people who, go, the radio station type of fellows. And I flipped my wig. I just absolutely flipped my wig because not only that, I'm just sick and tired of hearing the same pathetic voices on this station, on the other stations, over and over again. These people who just want to be stars on the radio, and so they sit there and call everybody, not necessarily having a great deal to say. It doesn't make any difference. Sometimes they even do have something to say, but so what? And on top of that, I had sat in the control room for about the last hour and a half of Bill Ratliff's show and was listening to people calling up who were calling for their second and third times today. No, I don't need it. Nobody needs it. I would rather sit here and read from a book than talk to chronic callers anymore. I have had it. So, if you don't want to talk to chronic callers, that means you have to create new callers. So, that presents a problem. New callers are people that have never called before. Calling a talk radio station is not always that much fun. I mean, you get a little nervous. Sometimes you have to sit on the line for a while. And it takes, some those things that are round and things like that. And, you got look like little things that you bounce up and down against the wall. Because I don't want to talk to anybody that's ever called this radio station before. Well, let me give you the telephone numbers. And since I don't want to talk to anybody that's ever called before, I don't care what you want to call about. 990-9352 in Hillsborough, 990-WFLA. In Pinellas, 461-9352, 461-WFLA. I'm just as serious as I know how to be if you've ever called this radio station. Today, I don't want to hear from you. St. Petersburg, hi, it's St. You're on the air at 970.
Hi, Bob.
Hi.
Hi. I think what more than anything of it is that you're this big, ominous voice coming over the box. I've never had the opportunity to see you or anything, but that's my impression. That's probably why I never called before. I mean, you're ready to shoot anybody down in a heartbeat. It's a scary thing sometimes. But you make me see One time ago you said that if you did only a couple of things was make people see that there wasn't black or white but gray. And that, you know, that's what I think. I think you're a great guy, and I really appreciate listening to you.
Well, your word's very kind. I don't know that I'm a great guy. I'm not really a great guy. I'm just a guy. I, have all the same problems everybody else has, and I'm just as stupid as everybody else is from time to time. Everybody's a klutz and a jerk, and so am I. But you do me a great service if you say that I've taught you that the world is gray, because that's what it is.
Yeah.
Damn it, I wish it was black and white.
Yeah, it's not. And if more people would see that, it would, I think, be a whole lot better place. Sometimes I think people don't call either because we really don't have an answer to the questions that you ask. Sometimes I don't think there is an answer.
That's the conclusion I'm slowly coming to, and it scares the hell out of me.
We're trying to get an answer, but, you make us think about it anyway, and that's the important part.
I'm really slowly coming to that conclusion that there are no answers, there are no solutions, but I just cannot yet give up.
No, I can't believe in that either. I can't give up either. There's got to be an answer. We'll keep working on it.
Well, come on.
See you later.
990-9352 in Hillsborough. Or 619-352 in Hi, Stacey, you're on the air.
Yeah, how you doing, Bob?
Fine.
Listen, I want to know. I feel I heard you say earlier that you are a lucky man. I think you're a hero in this community. And I think you owe the community something. And I want to know, what are you doing for the Pinellas County, St. Pete area here?
What do you mean, what am I doing for the Pinellas County, St. Pete area?
I mean, you're going to come out to somebody's home. 98 Rock did that a year ago. What are you doing as far as something a little self-centered?
It's not necessarily self-centered, sir. What's your problem? Why don't you get right down to the meat of it? Don't beat around the bush.
I don't mean to insult you, at all. I just think that you owe the community.
What do you think I owe the community, sir? And why do you think I owe the community anything?
Because you're a hero.
Because I'm a hero. I'm not a hero, sir.
A lot of people listen to you. A lot of people call you up.
A lot of people listen to Morton Downey, too. He's not a hero.
He owes the community.
Doesn't owe the community anything.
So you made a statement that you were
I don't owe the community any more than any other citizen does.
Well, every citizen does owe.
That's right.
No more than anybody else, but you're in a position that you can do something besides put $1 in a plate, or you're in a position of influence.
Well, I'm not in a position, sir, that you aren't in. Now, what can I possibly do? I can't make you do anything you don't want to do.
The only thing that I can do is possibly donate money. I can have some influence that way. I do not get on the radio every day and share views.
Sir, I think I have asked people only on one occasion in my entire life to donate money. On one occasion in my entire life. That happened to have been the Dick Norman Memorial Fund. That's the only time I've ever asked people. I ask people to send postcards occasionally. I've asked people to sign a petition occasionally.
Sign a petition, there you go.
But I've never, except for that one instance, to the best of my knowledge.
Well, signing a petition.
Well, of course, I did ask people to buy me a new chair, but, that was obviously a joke.
That's what you needed. I mean, I can understand that totally. I mean, make a vote a certain way. Sign a petition a certain way.
Whoa, sir, I don't tell people how to vote. That's not what I'm here for. I don't tell people how to vote or how to think.
You can have some influence that way and do
I don't want
good.
to, sir. I don't want to tell you how to think. I'd like you to think for yourself. But why would I want to tell you how to think?
You could do some good in this community.
Sir, I don't want to tell anybody how to think. That's not doing any good for somebody to tell them what to do.
See, you cut down people's ideas and arguments.
That's not an idea and it's not an argument. It's an asinine thing to say.
And
if you are so shallow, sir, if you and your friends are so stupid that you need somebody to tell you how to think, I don't want you for a listener. I don't want you living in town with me. If you need to be told what to do, how to do it, when to do it, what to think, sir, there are so many other people that would be only too happy to have your mind. I am not one of them. I don't want your mind, sir. I want your input. I want your opinions. But I don't want to be your... I'm not interested in any of that kind of stuff. Not at all. You don't flatter me by telling me that I help you know what to do, or I should tell you how to vote, or I should tell you how to put your pants on, or I should tell you anything else. That's not a compliment to me. And frankly, sir, I'm glad that you had never called before, and I would hope that you'll never call again. You don't add anything to the show unless and until, sir, you learn how to think for yourself. Well, speak of adding things to the show. If it isn't our very own little dangerous traffic reporter, Gary McHenry with the WFLA Airborne Traffic Report. Gary, baby.
Every 40 seconds, Bob.
By the way, did you come in third or fourth at that Yahtzee tournament?
I was sick last week, Bob. You think you're going to fool me? You think I'm not bright enough to pick up on your little things? You think that you could trick me into saying, "Oh, I was second, Bob," and then you'd say, "Aha!"
Second this year? My God, that's two places better than you were last year, Gar. Congratulations. Hey,
you know that I carry
was second this year.
I carry the cup and the dice
Call
with
the
me.
General manager downstairs and tell him.
I carry the cup and the dice with me everywhere I go now.
No doubt in my mind about it, Gary.
Never go anywhere without my cup. Traffic along Curlew, getting back to normal, but still.
Tampa, hi, you're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Yeah, well, first of all, I am a first-time caller, and it's like most people, I'm a little bit nervous, but I like you as well. Over 30-plus years, I was a smoker. And for a long period of time, Bob, I heard you continuously advertise for Dr. Sobel.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the graphic ways you advertised started making me think about the cigarettes. One particular day, I was driving down the road, and I was starting to feel a lot of different physiological things happening in my body, things you would describe over the year that was happening to your body.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I was thinking, well, I'm going to call Dr. Sobel. So I didn't call Dr. Sobel. Instead, I picked my cigarette pack up because I did not like what I was feeling. I threw them out my window, littered the streets, and from that day on, I have not smoked a cigarette. And basically, it was.
I'm glad you did it.
Oh, Bob, but it was you do it so well. Graphically, you describe so well. And like you, it feels good to breathe. It feels good not to have phlegm in the morning. It feels good not to hack my brains out. And I just wanted to thank you for that. And I am a first-time caller. I enjoy your show, and keep it up the great work.
Well, first of all, I really appreciate the story. And believe it or not, even though Dr. Sobel is a client of mine and I'm a client of his, I'm glad that you had the strength to do it on your own. You see, I didn't. I just didn't have the strength to do it on my own, and I'm so proud of you, and I mean that.
Well, it's not that I am any stronger than you. What it basically is you graphically describe the things I physiologically were feeling, and feeling those things they were making me uncomfortable. All of a sudden, I honestly thought to myself, is something physiologically happening to me? I'm starting to feel things in my body after 30-plus years of smoking these cigarettes. It's got to be the cigarettes. Now I can enjoy going home and playing. I'm over 40, so I go home and I enjoy playing with my two little small, under 5-year-old children and wrestling with them and having a wonderful time, having the energy to run up and down stairs, get back into tennis, get back into swimming, and enjoying myself, having the lungs to do it. And I want to thank Dr. Sobel for helping you to help me.
I love it.
And you're great, Bob. Thank you very much for the entertainment. I sit in my car all day long, and I watch people. And now I'm enjoying being turned on to talk radio. And it's the first time I've called because it's not that I've been intimidated to call you, because that's the farthest from my lack of not calling you. It's just that I've enjoyed listening to the way you entertain the callers. And thank you for that entertainment.
Thank you.
Have a great day, Bob.
Take care. You know, it just dawned on me that I gave you this great true story, another true story number 2, about the Oric vacuum cleaners, and I told you about the sale this week. I just forgot to tell you where. So let me give you the addresses. 2 locations in the Bay Area. 13230, that's 13230 North Dale Mabry in Tampa. The telephone number there is 264-1937, 264-1937, and 2454 McMullen Booth Road in Clearwater. That telephone number, 726-0523. That's 2454 McMullen Booth Road in Clearwater. I get so excited talking to you about the Auric vacuum cleaner because I know that you guys don't believe any of these stories I'm telling you. They are all true. And I just sit here saying, oh, boy, I can't wait to tell them this next story they're not going to believe. Don Richards sitting by, standing by, kneeling by, who knows what he's doing, loitering around the WFLA news desk. Yahtzee cup, you know what I mean, Garrett? That's just
Sort
a
of.
coincidence?
I have the deluxe cup.
The deluxe cup.
Yeah,
By the way, when we called down to let Dave Maseko know that you would come in second in the tournament, he said, congratulations.
I didn't admit that. I said that you were trying to fool me. And
Wait a second, you didn't come in second? Well, where did you place in the tournament?
I didn't say that I was at the tournament, Bob. You're trying to fool me. You're trying to trick me like you do all your callers. You just tried to get me to say that.
Gary,
I didn't say that, Bob.
How could you accuse me of that?
You trick people.
Oh, Gary.
You trick people into saying things that they didn't mean, and then you're nasty to them.
Oh,
That's why nobody calls you.
I'd never be like that to you subhuman reporter.
Besides that, I have the leather Yahtzee cup with the felt in the bottom. I can play.
You do.
I can play Yahtzee at night, and nobody can even hear me. You know,
as a matter of fact, that's strange that you should mention that because David was saying he can play Yahtzee every afternoon.
Traffic along 275 northbound affected by a
Wait, how many times were you on with Gardner this morning?
How many times what?
How many times were you on with Gardner this morning?
What, doing traffic?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know, probably 20 times.
How many times have you been on with me this afternoon?
Probably 10 or 15 times.
You're worse than Joe from Odessa. Get your band for the rest of it. Get off!
News Radio 970 WFLA.
Miserable chronic reporter, Tampa. Hi, Tampa. You're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Hi.
Hi.
Am I on the air?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. This is great. I'm a first-time caller.
I don't know how great it is. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's okay. Sometimes it's really a bummer.
Yeah.
Take it from me.
Yeah, I've been listening to your show for about 3 months now, ever since I've been here.
Uh-huh.
I've been listening to WFLA, since in that time frame.
Where'd you come in from?
Where?
Yeah.
The Midwest.
The Midwest. Okay. Sounds very mysterious, the Midwest.
Well, I'm with the military. If I tell you too much, everybody will know who I am.
Rock Island, huh? You were stationed at Rock Island.
No.
The arsenal there.
No.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, I really haven't been tempted to call. I'm the type of person where I'll only speak if I feel I have something really important to say. So that's happened a couple times in the last 3 months. But I was going to call today when you first started your show.
Uh-huh.
Because I thought it would be pretty interesting. I was writing down all the categories. And
I thought so, too.
Yeah, I was just going to put myself in a category and call you. So I was kind of disappointed that I couldn't go through with it.
You win some, you lose some. I don't know.
But, yeah, I understand.
How do you like it here?
It's all right, but I wanted to tell you something else.
Yeah.
I've listened to talk radio a lot since I've been here, and I can only listen to it on and off because I work different hours, but every time I hear it, I notice that I hear the same people.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad I realized that, or else, my opinion about Tampa and the surrounding area would have been kind of slanted.
I don't know what it is. To the best of my recollection, it has been about really since about the first of the year. Suddenly the caller base has shrunk. And I've been going along for the last 3 months, first of the year, saying that, geez, this is really great. It's so easy to get calls. Sometimes it's hard. And I keep saying, boy, it's going to dry up sometime. This is cyclical. It's going to dry up. And then it dawned on me why it's so easy to get calls.
Same people. Yeah, because I've listened to Lionel and Liz and everybody, and it's the same people calling.
Oh,
I'm kind of glad I called you.
Hear them.
Huh?
You tune in the other stations and you hear them. They just run from one station to the next.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Hello, Jane. Hello, Bob. Hello, Tim.
Oh, I guess they have the time to do it. I know I don't. But
I hear what you're saying.
Anyway, I'm glad I called you.
Well, so am I, and I hope that you'll do it again.
Maybe one day before I leave. I'll be here
before
for a few years.
Leave. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay, back to the Midwest, huh?
I don't know. I kind of like Florida.
Okay. Well, hope Florida likes you.
But with the military, you got to go where they send you,
That's true. That's true. I understand. Well, thank you very much.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye-bye. 990-9352 in Hillsborough, 461-9352 in Pinellas. Clear, water high clear. You're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Good afternoon, Bob.
Afternoon, sir.
First-time caller in Minneapolis.
I did?
Yes, you did. You sent him a demo tape, you said.
Well, I was teasing somebody.
Oh, okay, because I was just wondering about that, because I'm from Minnesota.
No, I from what I know of that station, they couldn't possibly handle me.
I don't know. They got some. They got a lot better callers up there, I think. A lot better than this area.
Uh-huh.
And I was, wondering if, since you were complaining about the same callers, that if you were seriously talking about moving.
No, Minneapolis is not on my list, and I was just teasing someone.
Oh, okay. Thanks a lot.
Okay. Hey, no problem.
Okay.
Take care there. Let's see. Let's go to St. Petersburg. Hi there, St. You're on the air at 970 WFLA.
Hello. Right now is one of the most exciting times there ever has been to live.
Really?
You're exactly. We're exploring other worlds.
Oh, yeah, sure is.
But here, science is doing so much for us, and the money and the airtime in a lot of places, fortunately not WFLA, is being spent on this wacko stuff. There's enough money out there, but it's going to Ernest Angley. It's going to pay astrologets. It's going for all kinds of wacko stuff where the education in the state goes downhill, and the people responsible for enriching the quality of life are getting less and less to do it.
Well, I'm not trying to insult anybody, but the fact of the matter is that such things are normally attract an audience that are less than well-educated, that are less than, well, it's not even a matter of education. Let's call a spade a spade. They tend to attract an audience that's dumb.
Well, this is true.
Smart.
I've often thought maybe I ought to put an astrologer's hat on rather than an astronomer, change my name, and become independently wealthy.
I don't know that you become independently wealthy, but I dare say that you'd probably at least eke out a living.
That's true.
Thank you, my friend.
Thanks, Bob.
Be good. All you guys be good, too. Thank you, first-time callers, and thank you those of you who have called the station at least once before for kind of backing off today, okay? I appreciate it, and I think we'll all be the better for it, if you know what I mean.